Hey everybody, welcome back to Clipboard Cars. Today is a gloomy, rainy, cold, wet day, and today we have the Audi RS5, and this is the 2021 model year, so let's get into it. Now in this video, we're going to cover 5 exterior features as well as 5 interior features. We'll show you the whole vehicle wide open, then we'll hop in the car, take it for a drive, give you our thoughts and impressions. All right, so the first exterior detail I want to cover is the whole front end and the hood. The RS model has the aggressive lines cut right into it. It gives it a really good chiseled, muscular look, as well as the redesigned front end where it has a wider grille opening, updated just fascia features, and it's just overall, this is just a mean looking car going down the road, but it's not overstyled, and that's what I love about the Audi. One of my favorite exterior features of the Audi RS5 are the headlights. These are just really cool. The lighting technology features full LED lights with optional Audi laser lights. Matrix functionality allows for the selective beam control, illuminating the road without blinding other drivers. The optional laser light feature activates at higher speeds above roughly 43 miles an hour for enhanced long-range projection, using a blue laser converted to road-legal white light, ideal for eye comfort. The design of the light itself is a blacked out housing with a clear lens, giving it that menacing look, integrated with a daytime running light for the DRLs with that cool striped pattern. The functionality includes automatic high beams with high beam assist and exit entry lighting. The lights just adapt to your driving. The next exterior detail I want to cover are the wheels. Now this 5-spoke design is on the 20-inch wheel. There is also a 19-inch wheel option that you can find if you're shopping on the used market. I highly recommend getting the 20s because they look really cool. Another exterior feature I want to cover is the fact that you can get this car in 2 different options. You can get it in a 2-door coupe or a 4-door fastback. And ideally, I think the fastback is the better option for daily driver use with the more practical space that you'll get on the inside. And it still looks good. The next exterior detail I want to cover are the signature RS exhaust tips that you get on the Audi RS5. It's got that signature oval shape to them, and they sound pretty good for a V6. A bonus 6 exterior feature I just have to mention are the brakes that you get on the Audi RS5. The front rotors on the RS5 are a 375 millimeter diameter by 36 millimeter thickness, and they're vented. The rear rotors are a 330 millimeter diameter by 22 millimeter thickness, also vented. When it comes to the calipers for the brakes, it's a 6-piston front and a 4-piston rear, and they're typically painted red for the RS package. The brake pads themselves are a low metallic, designed for high performance and durability, or you can get ceramic options as well. Carbon ceramic brakes are an optional brake package that you can get on the RS5. The carbon ceramics will provide extreme heat tolerance, fade resistance, and lower unsprung weight, improving the handling of the vehicle itself. They're a very expensive option. When it comes to replacing them, it won't be very often when you would have to, like every 80 to 100,000 miles, but when you do, expect to empty your wallet to do it. Key features of the braking system feature ABS standard 4-wheel anti-lock braking system. The rotors are high-quality cast iron or the carbon ceramics with performance coating available for rust prevention on the steel rotors. For the performance, they're engineered for aggressive driving, offering confident braking force and reduced noise and vibration with premium components. And what all of that means is simply this. This car stops. The brakes work. Coming around to the interior, it's plain and easy to see that one of the key features of the interior are the seats. The standard sport seats in the RS5 have honeycomb stitching, power adjustable side bolsters, massaging functions, and they're finished in a nice Nappa leather. Standard heating for the front seats with optional heated rear seats. For the Sportback model, The materials, again, fine Nappa leather with optional Alcantara and special stitching, whether you want it to be red, green, blue, or black. Optional carbon fiber seat backs and different leather with the Alcantara combinations were available and are available in current models. The comfort of these, it was designed for performance with long distance comfort in mind, supporting spirited driving and daily commutes. Like, these seats really just get the job done. The next interior feature I want to cover is the sound system. This is the B&O sound system. The B&O sound system has an amplifier that has up to 755 watts and has up to 20 speakers, including the 3D sound elements, which just really sound great. The sound technology is a 5.1 surround sound. Sound enhancement packages including the bass boost, automatic sound level adjustment that's when you're driving certain speeds on the highway, it'll adjust the volume as needed. And then you'll also have the virtual surround sound. The next interior feature I want to cover is the infotainment system. The infotainment display is a 10.1-inch MMI touch display with haptic feedback. The system that it runs is a modular infotainment platform 3, or better known as the MIB3. Not to be confused with the movie Men in Black, this is modular infotainment platform stuff. It has smartphone integration with wireless Apple CarPlay and USB Android Auto. The next feature I want to cover is the steering wheel. The steering wheel features a sporty grip 3-spoke design with all the button functionality that you need to operate the gauge cluster, as well as changing things in the infotainment system for changing stations, songs, all that stuff. You also have a fancy RS badge placed at the bottom of the steering wheel. Again, just to remind you what you bought. So the last interior feature that I want to cover is the trunk itself. This is a great design. I am so happy that Audi decided to make this a hatchback design because, my goodness, the amount of space that you have for this trunk is immense. And it says here 21.8 cubic feet with the seats folded up, and then 35 cubic feet when the seats are folded flat. You pull up this little latch, you got a full-size spare ready to go. No air plug kits here, you actually get a full spare. And then there's a pull tab up here at the front of the trunk. You pull that down, and that gives you access to your tool kit. One piece is missing. I can do this.
You got this piece.
I think I just did it backwards. I'm pretty sure I just did it backwards. Oh no! No? What kind of buffoonery is this? I did it right the first time. I did it. I got it. I got this. Nothing but the finest education at Clipboard Cars. Then you can hit the button, auto close, and walk away. All right, so we are driving the Audi RS5. And of course, without a doubt, yeah, it's an RS model. That was pretty, that's pretty good. The initial impression of driving this car is just how much fun can I have for an everyday vehicle? And this car pretty much is the maximum amount. I understand there's the higher horsepower cars like the RS6 and the RS7 and all that kind of stuff. You also have the faster BMW M4, M3, but this car is just so composed, so just it just does everything effortlessly. I understand the other cars do too, but this is in a cheaper price point and it just feels so planted and great. Sitting here in the interior, I'm looking around. I've got this beautiful carbon fiber dash, carbon fiber center console area. I've got the center console here that isn't really a center console, but it kind of is. I lift up this little armrest here and I've got access to a wireless charger and then a small amount of storage off to the right. Moving up from the wireless charger, we've got a little port here off to the right of the center console, and you'd be wondering, what's that little shape for? That is for you to set your key, which most people just keep the key in their pocket, but if you feel like you don't want the key in your pocket, Audi was nice enough to make you a little cutout in the center console. In front of that though, you've got the volume knob for the infotainment system, as well as the track change buttons. My hand naturally falls to that spot, so ergonomically this car is just making more and more sense. To the left of the volume knob though, you've got the Tiptronic shifter, where you can let it just do its normal thing with the 8-speed transmission, or you can turn it over and you can shift it this way, or you can use the aluminum paddles that are on the sports steering wheel. The shifter actually has an RS badge right at the base of it, just reminding you that you bought the fast one. Ahead of the shifter though, you've got a little cubby section here for change, or I don't even know what you would fit in there. It's a very odd shaped storage spot in the center console. In front of that though, you've got two cup holders that are in a very interesting spot. So if you like to go to fast food restaurants like Taco Bell or McDonald's and you want to get the large cup, it doesn't really fit that well in there. You kind of have to do this to get it in there. So if you want to be Baja blasting, make sure you get the medium-sized drink. In front of the cup holders, you have two ports. You have one USB-A and one cigarette lighter for charging. Above that, you have your drive mode select button, traction control, park assist, and then the camera button so you can pull up your camera. And then you also have the screen off button as well off to the far right. Above the bottom row of buttons, you have your climate control buttons. Thank you, Audi, for giving us hard buttons for the climate control to be operated. Moving up from the climate controls, I wanted to mention one thing that I don't really like about the interior of the, well, anything from the A5, S5, RS5, they're all the same, but is how the actual dash looks. So the vents, it looks like the vents go all the way across, but I'm positive the ones right above the glove box are just fake vents, and I'm not sure why they carried it all the way across. It kind of just looks cheap, just in my opinion. If you guys like it, that's on you. It's just my personal taste. It's just the one thing I don't like about this interior. Moving up from the vents, you have the infotainment screen. It's the MMI, and it is very fast. It's responsive to your touches, has haptic feedback to it. You've got Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Plus, we have the B&O sound system. It bumps. This car is just very well sorted for daily driving and just long car trips. To the left of the center console, I've got the sports steering wheel. Normally, I thought that the RS models had flat bottom steering wheels, but this one's got a full-on circle and dimpled leather all the way around. So this must be probably the more base model steering wheel. I guess you probably have options for that. But I do love seeing the aluminum paddle shifters that are fixed, or they're not fixed, that are fixed to the steering wheel, so they do turn with it. It's not an actual column-mounted paddle shifter. Turn signals and all the toggle switches here feels pretty cheap, like really cheap for a car this price tag, but that's just nitpicking kind of stuff. The main thing that you really want is when you do this. Oh yeah. This car's good. Now when it comes to the engine, this is a pretty nice looking engine bay. I know it's just a plastic engine cover, but there's no extra gaps or anything. Like, it's all tightly packed in here and it looks great. This is a 2.9 liter twin turbo V6 motor, and overall it's putting out 444 horsepower and 441 pound-feet of torque. 0 to 60 is aimed at about 3.7 seconds. Obviously this is an Audi, so Quattro is standard. This is an all-wheel drive system. Has an 8-speed automatic Tiptronic transmission. The rear differential is RS tuned for, allowing more power to go to the rear axle. The fuel economy rating on this engine is 18 miles per gallon in the city, 25 miles per gallon on the highway, 22 combined. I think those are pretty good numbers for a performance sedan for daily driver use. So key competitors to the RS5 would be the BMW M3, BMW M4, and then when it comes to Mercedes offering, Mercedes has the C63 AMG, although I think that's actually a 4-cylinder now, and gross. Hear me out. This one technically makes sense on paper, but the all-new Dodge Charger 6-pack. More power, all-wheel drive, same configuration of vehicle. Technically it's in the same class and the same price point. I don't know if I'd ever buy one over this though. When it comes to the price of the RS5, when it was new, when this particular one was new, the starting price was $76,500. High mileage used prices right now are between $36,000 and $46,000. And then lower mileage examples that are for sale are anywhere from $50,000 to $60,000. That's a respectable price tag. This is a whole lot of car. It's still a lot of money, but man, this thing will put a smile on your face. I really hate when I hear other YouTube channels that are just playing this car down. They're saying it's so numb in the steering. I mean, it's really sharp. This is a very fun car. The all-wheel drive system is always legendary when it comes to the Quattro system. If you live in the Midwest and you want a performance car that you can drive year-round, look good, all that kind of stuff, this is a really, really sweet option. If I'm really looking at this versus an M3, I don't know if I could ever handle looking at how ugly the M3 is. If I had to walk out every morning to see that in the garage, I couldn't do it. But this car is so subtle in its sporty styling that I just think this car is like the complete package when it comes to just a good daily driver, high-end performance, and actually it's relatively reliable. Let's get into what the common problems are. So being that this car is direct injection, there is carbon buildup that happens, so there is going to be general cleaning that would have to take place in order to keep the engine maintenance, or to keep the engine healthy and running good. Do not miss a single oil change. If you do miss any of the service intervals, these engines are very sensitive to that, and it will end up with a costly or catastrophic failure. But that, again, it should be good practice. If you are shopping for a car like this, or new or used, you should always at least look at the vehicle history and make sure that you yourself are going to follow the proper service. These aren't cheap cars, both on a maintenance end or to purchase, but it's the game you're playing when you want to have a fancy car. There is the complaint that the brakes do tend to squeal a lot. That is, I would say, semi-common when you have big performance brakes like these, that it does tend to happen. It just depends also on temperature, what kind of brake pads you're throwing on it, and if you're just absolutely reaming out the brakes. Another thing too is that people don't like to bed the brakes. So when the new brake pads are put in and people just think, oh, the job's done, nope, still got to bed the brakes, and that could be where a lot of the squeaking issues are coming from. I wouldn't say just the RS5, but this is just in general with the A5, S5, RS5, all that kind of stuff, is there are drainage issues for the sunroof itself. Water tends to build up and then it starts dripping into the interior. That's no fun. Another common problem that's been mentioned quite a bit is the sporadic electronics issues, and that could be the keyless door opening with the locks not unlocking, all that kind of stuff. The frameless windows not coming down when you open the door, doors not locking, just random small things. It happens a lot with Mercedes, BMW, and Audi. All the cars that require just a ton of electronics, when they shove all these features into these cars, it does tend to be a problem, more so when you get closer to, I'd say, 80,000 plus miles. Customers have also reported that creaks and rattles with the interior have been a thing. Personally, on this particular RS5, it has about 52,000 miles on it. It feels solid and doesn't really have any creaks or rattles going on, but I could see how it could be a thing because there are some hard plastics in this interior that I feel in time, with the sun expanding and contracting and all that kind of stuff, I think that some of those materials will eventually wear out and you'll start getting some rattles down the road. So when it comes to fitting in the RS5 Sportback, I've got plenty of room in the front The seat does come down nice and low and gives me that sporty feel looking down the hood line. When it comes to the back seat though, that's where things get tight for someone my height. However, I do technically fit back there. My head is grazing the roof of the vehicle. My knees are like a half an inch away from the seat, and that's with my seat in its current settings where if I'm sitting up here and sitting in the back seat at the same time, I can still technically fit back there. So I would assume most of the people that you would have riding back there would fit just fine. In the back seat though, you've got heated seats and climate control. Pretty good layout for this car, how they managed to package it while keeping that fastback design. Want to give a huge shout out to Akins Ford on their certified pre-owned and used sales team. They are the ones that provide us with a lot of these cars, and very happy that they gave us the keys to this RS5. It kind of actually has me contemplating replacing my Mini Cooper with this car, because the Mini Cooper, while it is, I think, one of the ultimate performance vehicles that you can drive today, the space is just getting smaller and smaller on the interior for the gear that I always have to haul everywhere I go for work and other things. It's just getting harder to justify that car, but I do struggled with the idea of getting rid of the Mini because it is that much fun. But this car, with the practicality of the hatchback design and the seats that fold flat, I can fit all of my gear in here very comfortably, and it's got me thinking. And I don't know, I like that this car still has that sedan styling, but the usability of a hatchback. So I've got some thinking to do myself, and who knows, maybe you're gonna see a video on the channel in a couple months where I'll be like, look what I bought.
Do I regret it? Yes. Would I do it again? Probably.
Drop a comment down below what you think is the ultimate daily driver performance sedan. This car has a pretty high ranking up there, but I know that you've got cars like the M5, M4, M3, heck, even the M2, and then Mercedes with their AMG line, all that kind of stuff. There's a lot of great options to pick from, but I think this is a very good package to get. Make sure you like and subscribe to our channel. We have new episodes every Monday, and we'll see you guys for the next one.